Mr. Chuta, I can see you. Chimezie, I can see you.
Yeah, Mike, I'm trying to set up live stream just to be sure that YouTube is working. Come in, who is that?
Charge. Does it charge quickly? Has the phone charge quickly? Give me the white phone. They are white one there. White one, the white one. Careful.
Yeah, it's 6 p.m. It's already 6 p.m. in Lagos, Nigeria. And we'll just allow a few minutes. We'll start exactly 5 minutes after 6. So allow 3 minutes for people to join the meeting. I'll be ready to take off. There is a chat window available where you can easily drop your chat and ask your questions via the chat window. We're also streaming live on YouTube, so if you're not going to participate, likely you may choose to follow the YouTube link. So I'll just drop the link to the YouTube so that you can easily share with your circle of friends. So there is the YouTube link, so you could share with your friends to the YouTube link.
Have they started? Yeah. Thank you. Come back.
All right, so I think we're going to start now. We're going to start now. This is 8 minutes after the hour 6. You can use the chat button and share the link. I've already dropped it, and get your friends to watch on YouTube. You can also share the GC platform link so that they can join anytime they are ready. If you have questions, please put them together. We'll take the questions in between the presentations so that I make sure I carry everybody along. Okay, so I'll start by sharing my screen because that's exactly where we should start from so that you can have a good idea of what we're going to be covering today. So today we're going to be covering quite a lot. Like I sent out earlier mail today, I said that this webcast is going to cover two parts. The first part will cover a general knowledge and understanding. General doesn't mean less important, but general is knowledge that everybody needs to have, whether you are a developer, a tech person, or just an investor, enthusiast, or someone who just wants to understand what is going on in the space. So it's a long list of different topics. We're going to first of all start by looking at the introduction, who I am, and after that, we'll take a look at the internet as we have known them, overview of the internet from Web 1 to Web 2 to Web 3. Then we'll move into the problems of the current internet. Then why do we need the blockchain and what is it here for? Then we'll also take a look at the history of blockchains and crypto technologies before we finally arrive at Polkadot. What is Polkadot doing differently? What is it that they are doing that is outstanding? What is it that Polkadot has to offer the ecosystem that is new? Of course, we'll take a look at the Polkadot token itself and what makes it a high capacity token that one should have in his crypto asset wallet. We'll take a look at the Kusama network, which is also a Polkadot project. Then part 2 will begin a very deep dive into the technology itself, the architecture of the technology itself. So it's designed for developers and tech teams. Then we will move into Substrate, which is the core architectural development platform for Polkadot type of blockchains. We'll move from there. We'll look at the smart contracts provisions in Polkadot. We'll look at what runtimes are, runtime modules. Then we'll look at how you can easily set up your development environment either on your local computer or you can use the interface, the IDE interface that they are provided online. Okay, so it's quite a ton of information to cover. My calculation is that we're going to spend minimum 1 hour, 30 minutes in this presentation, give or take 1 hour, 30 minutes. So without wasting much of your time, I want to start now. And first of all, let me stop this share so I can make sure that you see my face before I start. Thank you everyone that has come to join this podcast today. Thanks to every single one of you. I appreciate your time. The fact that this presentation is free doesn't in any way make it less important. I've had a lot of people who say that people don't value free things. Well, that's a fault on individual level. I value free things a lot because I personally benefited a lot from the free resources that people were kind enough to put out online to start me on my journey as a tech person. I didn't study software development in the university. Okay, I did something completely opposite. Okay, but I leveraged the free resources that people made available online, valuable resources to train myself and build myself and got me where I am today. So I'm so grateful. So if you are part of those who don't like appreciating things that came to you for free, please, you have to change the attitude, and probably begin to appreciate them, because we do a lot to make this content available to you. So just value them. That's just what I have to say. So I'm sharing my screen again, so I can start the deep dive. So who am I? I'm Chuta Chimezie. By the way, this handout I'm going to be using for the presentation, I'm going to make it available to every single person who participated. I'll share the links on all the platforms that I've used, and you can always download them and check them from time to time, because I'm going to be building more content on it, and you can always check them for updates. So I've been in the tech industry for close to 20 years, been particularly involved in software development for about 15 years. And I've been involved in the blockchain space for over 5 years. I've been actively involved, not just an onlooker, actively involved, helping in different ways, training people, raising awareness, helping to drive adoption, interfacing with policymakers and regulators. Okay, so we have come a long way in this industry. So when I come out to share content like this, it must be that there's something that I have seen in the project that is really worth taking a look at. And I think you should take a look at it. So why do I do it? Because I'm a tech innovator. You know, I've gotten to the point where I can identify projects that have a future just by looking at the tech foundation. Okay, so that's why I do these things. And I love blockchain, I love cryptocurrencies, and I love empowering people and educating them. I have strong skills when it comes to, you know, explaining difficult things about techs. That's a gifting from God to me, okay? So I'm founder and coordinator of Blockchain Nigeria User Group. We are a very vibrant community of blockchain and cryptocurrency experts, enthusiasts, developers, investors, and entrepreneurs. So what we do is to leverage this new technology to make visible changes in our own lives and in the lives of the people that are around us. That's exactly why you see us holding a whole lot of seminars, conferences, you know, training sessions. Every now and then we appear in different places to teach people free of charge, because freely did we receive, freely also we are willing to give out to people. You can check out Blockchain Nigeria User Group and take a look at all our web platforms. And of course, you can join us on our Telegram handle. Our Telegram handle is private. So if we don't invite you, you are not likely to be able to have access to our Telegram handle. So I'm dropping the link for you so you can join as quickly as possible. I'm also dropping the link also on YouTube. All right. So a deep dive. Let's take a look at the overview of the internet. Where did the internet begin and where are we now? We start from the era of PCs, when we have standalone PCs, mainframes. Then we were able to get to the desktop systems before the World Wide Web 1 came in. And of course, that era, we are just basically the eras of, you know, connectivity with wires that do one-way traffic. I mean, you don't get to get a feedback. You just access the information. So the Web 1.0, which the range of the date when it was there, I was fortunate enough to be active in the Web 1.0 era, which started in 1990 to the year 2000. Okay, it was an era of networking. Okay, and multimedia systems were coming in there, and we started seeing things like cloud computing. Fantastic. And people began to build businesses. You remember America Online. You remember Yahoo. remember Netscape? Do you remember all those platforms where we started our social networking? There was no Facebook then. Facebook belonged to Web 2.0, which is the era we call semantic web era. An interaction where you can send out information and you get feedback right away. In the Web 1.0 era, we had technologies like net-to-phone. Net-to-phone was an online platform that you could use to make one-way call. Nobody can talk back to you the way we do today, but you just have to make a one-way call. And, they leverage the web technology that transported voice over. Okay, so the Web 2.0 era made a lot of companies also rich. Companies like Facebook, Amazon, and their likes went into the space. And of course, their entrance into the space turned me and you into products and services, because we are their products, we are their services. All we need to do is to create the data that they need and drive their advertising revenue. Okay, so Web 3.0 is this new era where we find ourselves here, where we rather call it the Internet of Value, because one of the key things that Web 3.0 is bringing to the table is ability to transfer value, P2P, ability to own our data, ability to manage our own information, and not leave it in the hands of big corporations and big companies. Now, let's look at a few things, the problems with the current internet where we are. We all know the challenge of centralization, where you have a single entity, have absolute control. I mean, if you don't like your face on Twitter, they'll kick you out. If they don't like your face on Facebook, they'll kick you out. If YouTube does not like you, they'll kick you out. All their systems are centralized and they have absolute control. Me and you are just products. Me and you are just tools that they use to drive their advertising revenue. So the power is rested in their hands, big corporations. Scalability is also an issue, because the moment we start having mass traffic into those platforms, they constantly, go offline. I mean, they crash every now and then. Even big companies like Amazon crash every now and then. Facebook crashes every now and then. Google crashes every now and then. Twitter crashes every now and then. So scalability is a very big issue. I can't waste too much time talking on the importance of privacy, because these big corporations made themselves rich by violating the privacy of their users. What about value transfer? The kind of money that we have today, the ones that are called digital money, they are not designed for the internet. That's why they can't really work. We need a value transfer system that can make it possible for us to, transfer money, and we know that there's no threat of double spend, and no one is going to somewhere manipulate the system, because we are not in charge of the system that is generating them. Data ownership is an issue. You don't own your data, the corporations own them. All right. So why do we need the internet? The blockchain, sorry, why do we need the blockchain? Blockchain came in to, help users to get to agree on data that needs to be put on a block, without even knowing who they are. First of all, let me just do a quick definition of what blockchain is. Blockchain is a decentralized database where different computers and different networks are connected, decentralized, without any single person having upper hand to the control of that network. So it is still a database, but it's distributed. Now, because it's distributed, it also has to have a mechanism by which data can be added to that blockchain. Before now, blockchain data are add-only. In other words, you can only add to a blockchain, you cannot remove from it. Okay, we're going to see where Polkadot system is bringing in some innovation in that respect. So On the blockchain, users get to agree on data in the block without trusting or even knowing one another. Nobody can change data. I've already said that. And it's impossible to permanently delete a blockchain. Everyone can verify anything. You see, ability to verify is extremely important in a relationship or business transaction. If I can verify you, then I am sure of who I'm dealing with. Data is transparent, so everyone can see everything. Users can own their data, and there's no single point of failure. Now, the history of the blockchain and crypto assets technology started in far back 1982 in the era of digital cash. That's when people began to envision the possibility of a cash system or a monetary system that will be possible to use on the internet as far back as 1982. Then speed up to in the year 2009, okay, when Satoshi Nakamoto leveraged the study from the work that Adam Back did back in 1997 to come up with the Satoshi white paper, which led to the setup of the Bitcoin network that is currently driving the huge attraction into the blockchain and crypto space. In 2015, Ethereum came in because there were challenges with using Bitcoin to do some other things apart from sending money. Okay, so Ethereum developers felt that the Bitcoin technology could do much more than being able to send money between two people. Okay, so it was a technology that could do more. But the funny thing is that, or worse, that Bitcoin wasn't ready to take on all the other things that people wanted to be able to do. And that was how Ethereum was born in 2015. And Ethereum scaled blockchain technology to where we have it today. I mean, all kinds of things are now possible to be done on Ethereum. But of course, that didn't come without its own problem. And that's exactly where and why we are having this discussion today. So the problems of the present blockchain technology systems have to do with interoperability. You know, blockchains exist in silos, so to speak. You have the Bitcoin blockchain, you have the Ethereum blockchain, you have the Tezos blockchain, you have the Vite blockchain, you have the Stellar blockchain. You have all these blockchain technology systems all existing in silos in different parts of the world. And there is no way they could operate together or talk to each other successfully without huge cost. I mean, there has been efforts. I give it up to innovators and technologies. I mean, they've tried to wrap Bitcoin into Ethereum. They've tried to wrap Ether into Bitcoin. Okay, all kinds of things to help manage the system that is clearly not working. You have also problem with transaction scalability. I mean, when you take a look at this slide that talks about Visa, Ethereum, and Bitcoin transaction speed comparison. Bitcoin does 7% maximum, but when network is congested, Bitcoin does probably like 3 transactions per second, 3 transactions per second. Okay, when networks are congested, Ethereum does maximum 20 transactions per second, but of course, when the network is congested, it barely can handle 10 transactions per second. Visa, which is where we were trying to beat, was actually doing about 65,000 transactions per second in 2018. But in actual fact, by this 2020, they were doing about 1,736 transactions per second. Polkadot. Look at the amount of transaction capacity that Polkadot has. It has 166,666 transactions per second. Wow, massive. We'll come to that. It's part of the reason why we are super excited about Polkadot. Now, you also have issue of governance. I mean, in 2017, we had this great Bitcoin debate on whether Bitcoin was going to be forked because of people's opinion that the block size were small and they needed to some feel that the block size, if it's small, let's increase it. The other guy say, if the block size is too small, let's close the things that they are bringing it. As simple as this problem was, it was not easy for Bitcoin community to agree to do it in one single way. The result was a fork. And that was how you began to see Bitcoin Cash go a separate way. And today they're all struggling. This one say, I'm the real Bitcoin. The other one say, I'm the real Bitcoin. But we know the real Bitcoin, all right? So you also have security issues too. I mean, blockchain on its own is secure. But then there are other layers of users that also have issues managing their assets or the way they interact with the blockchain network. Of course, we've now had the Bitcoin network hacked by reason of security from its inception. Of course, there are also other blockchains that we also know that have security compromises. Bitcoin is highly decentralized, so having a security issue there is very, very improbable. But things like that have also happened in other blockchain platforms. So governance helps us to, clear the air. I mean, when institutional investors and other people are watching the blockchain technology industry and they see how easily the players in the industry and innovators are finding it difficult to agree on one thing and always fucking here and fucking there and, creating dissonance in the space. It's not a good thing for the development of the ecosystem. So we need a governance system that is acceptable to all so that we can actually maintain blockchains without the dangers of, some people disagreeing and fucking away because of that. Then we also have another issue, which is upgradability. I mean, many times when we started out working on blockchain, we bragged about the fact that it's immutable. I mean, you cannot delete or upgrade or update an information. I mean, even the system itself, you cannot upgrade it easily. You have to, go through rigorous processes in order to upgrade the software that runs that system. That's a big problem. We're going to see how Polkadot is helping to solve that problem. Then we also look at, because of these problems, it slows down innovation. I mean, I want to build something, and that thing I'm building, I'm not sure it's going to work. Look at a lot of projects that built their solutions on top of Ethereum. And today, gas fees of Ethereum has become so unbearable that most people abandon their projects. The amount of Ethereum-based projects that are in the graveyard today is something that many people cannot imagine because it's crazy. I have a project that built a stable coin tied to our local currency Naira, and when you want to transfer 10,000 Naira worth of that particular stable coin to another user, and you need to pay gas fees. Your gas fee is more than the amount that you wanted to transfer. And who does that? Absolutely no one will do that. No matter what you have built, nobody is going to use it. Okay, so it slows down innovation. Customization is also a problem because you have this blockchain. You say, oh, I want to use your blockchain. And they say, you can't do so and so thing. You say, can I use this blockchain to do this? So no, our blockchain cannot do that. So customization is also a major problem. That is where the technology that Polkadot is bringing into the ecosystem is really worth looking at. Okay, so technology is Polkadot is leveraging the Web3 technology to build its infrastructure, which stands for fair internet. Users should own their own data. Privacy is guaranteed, and the destiny of their wealth and in their own hands, not in the hands of big corporations. Now you have global digital transactions are guaranteed and they are secured. Okay, so online exchanges of information and value are fully decentralized. So Polkadot is really very interesting. So here is a simple design. It's a scalable, shared, fragmented piece of chains. And the first protocol that provides a secure environment for cross-chain compatibility. In other words, Polkadot makes it possible for different blockchains, first of all, on its ecosystem to talk to each other. So you can have a blockchain here. Look at this diagram here. You have a blockchain here, you have a blockchain here, you have a blockchain here, separate blockchains running their own codes, but they are able to talk to each other. Secondly, if there is another blockchain like Ethereum blockchain or Texas blockchain or Bitcoin blockchain or Waves blockchain that is out there, you can also be able to interrupt with it. You can talk to them. You can talk to them by just implementing a bridge. Wow, awesome. There's something big, something really innovative. So it unites networks of different types of blockchains that are called parachains or paratraits. In this diagram, you see all these networks that are tied around this chain here. Polkadot is typically the relay chain itself. That's the relay chain that is at the center. But around it, you have the parachains, and you also have the paratraits. Now, the bridges are the connectors to other blockchains. Now, let's get to, I know some of you you're already getting to know why Polkadot is as exciting as it is to me. Now, let's look at some of those reasons. First of all is the team behind this Polkadot project. Dr. Gavin Wood. Dr. Gavin Wood is a very brilliant, extremely brilliant young fellow who is the founder of Web3 Foundation. He is the founder of Kusama Network, which is also a part of Polkadot ecosystem of products. He is the founder of Polkadot. And of course, look at it here. Former CTO at Ethereum Foundation. Dr. Wu designed and stewarded the Solidity language. The Solidity language is the smart contract language that is used for writing smart contracts on Ethereum platforms. This guy is the chief IDE implementer for Solidity languages. Many of us, we go to Etscan, or you go to the online IDE for Ethereum development, and that is Dr. Wood's project. Of course, he is the one that designed and implemented the Whisper protocol. You can Google Whisper protocol. Now let's look at the technology innovation